Good morning. Everybody doing today? All right. So as I said, so firing on all cylinders. The last time I said that, market pulled back. Anyway, I guess it didn't violate the trend, but and not that saying the same thing again would result in the same thing. But I remember saying that several weeks ago, and we kind of just went kind of chopping around. But hey, we had the election to deal with, the interest rate thing to deal with, and now it just appears that all the worries are out of the way and everything looks good. I guess you put that in perspective of multiple time frames and how far things have moved. One of last week's comments was on Friday, time to rest. I think it was Friday. And what does that mean? That just means that the momentum should slow down. And we saw that happen on Friday as we're looking at this chart. And the way we see that, how do we observe momentum slowing down? Well, just the range is contracting. Not a big deal. I mean, it happens in different ways. Um, Obviously, today is just beginning. It's a little tiny bar. It could accelerate higher. But as we see what's happened here in the last several minutes, and this bar has 5 minutes to go, as you can see right here, there was a little breakout failure. So there's so a little bit less enthusiasm for the moment, which certainly makes sense at this point as to prices having moved from this support level where these pivots were, and this was election day, and that confidence, I guess, that things were going to turn out in a good way, and how they've turned out, the markets believe they turned out in a good way. We'll never know. If it would have turned or resulted in the opposite, um, what would have happened? I doubt it would have been the same reaction. So now we have a break to new all-time highs, minor support, major support. The trend is up on the daily time frame. There is only an indication of slowing momentum. Our step-by-step process is that the prior day's low is our first reference point of support. So whatever the time frame is, will it be a buy the dip moving forward? At this moment in time, Robert, I will tell you that 1,000%, not 100, 1,000%, the mindset right now is to buy the dip moving forward. So how can I say that? Well, because that's what the charts say right now. Now, could something change that opinion? Of course so. Which leads to, what could change that opinion? Well, the other concepts that we talk about in MT Live. We can talk about that in the room at lunchtime or something like that. We could have that kind of conversation. But the essence of that first slide in MT Live that we cover every single week, these are the concepts that MTS, Master Trader Technical Strategies, are built on. So one of those concepts would lead you to changing your opinion as to right now, everything's firing on all cylinders. Should we buy the dip? Absolutely, 100%. Now, starting this move, well, let me back up a second. Define what a dip is. We can define dips in different ways. So dips could be a retracement of a certain amount, retracement to where, retracement could be a correction bar, right? Since we've had this explosive move, define correction bar, and it goes on and on and on as to building a thought process. That's what the courses are built on, a thought process that creates beliefs, and those beliefs need to be measured, need to be adjusted as new information is available that either confirms or leads you to believe what you thought before isn't happening. So you're constantly reevaluating in the time frame that you're applying the concepts to. So as we look at something like a weekly chart, our bias is not going to change very quickly unless something really drastic happened. Whereas on a 5-minute chart or a 65-minute chart, things can change sometimes abruptly. Alex is saying the question, if you would like to buy a dip after the Santa rally, which is underway. Well, there's some rally underway, right? What happens after Christmas? Well, we know what happens after Christmas. New Year comes. And then January 6th is the day of the ultimate change. Change is underway now. Right now, what we see is the market is embracing that change in a major way. And the good thing is, well, we had this period of consolidation. The momentum to the upside was significant. How do I measure that? By how much it exceeded the prior pivot high, which was powerful, which on the weekly chart is a wide range bar. And so now we're going to apply step by step our concepts and rules. The trend is up. The trend is up on the daily chart. The trend is up on the weekly chart. The trend is up on the monthly chart. The trend is up. Yes, buy the dip. Right? So we'll continue to monitor this across different markets. And so we have a similar situation. The NASDAQ futures are up against this prior pivot high, so it's at resistance. Momentum slowed down. It's likely on a short-term basis that could be for a day, a few hours, right? A couple of days, things would consolidate a little bit at this time to see how aggressive buyers want to be. And so if they are very aggressive, we'll get a correction bar that could lead to a higher price. If they're less aggressive, it'll pull back to minor support. If they are like something happened and I don't know, like what could possibly happen? Well, I can tell you it's unlikely to happen just based on the statistics at the moment. But I think if the Democrats were to somehow win control of the House, the market could have a very negative reaction. But the probability of that at this point in time is extremely, extremely low. And the negative reaction would result because it's totally unexpected. So those are the kind of things that can blindside you when the unexpected happens. Like, some company comes out and gives a surprise, insight into their earnings, which are not good, or some other negative news, those unforeseen things that are just that, unforeseen. And they're surprises, and they result in a negative reaction. So, all right. So things are moving up well along. The Dow has moved up. These Dow futures have moved up the same wide range bar. They're a little extended. You adjust your reference points to minor support, major support. The trend is up, and we will continue to monitor what's happening. This over here. Put things in alignment. Right. Russell moved up. This is the fantastic thing about what happened. It wasn't some muted reaction. It was like across the board. The speculative small caps moved up. The transports exploded higher and moved up and broke out above this trading range. So yes, firing on all cylinders. That's not a subjective statement. No matter where you look, well, not no matter where you look, but the things that needed to move up moved up as they should. Bitcoin above 80,000, gapping up today, breaking out above this range, which is almost a year. So might it lose momentum and rest a bit? Yes. Should you buy the dip if you buy Bitcoin? Yes. Where is it likely to go? 90,000, 100,000. So until proven otherwise, that would be our belief that that's where it's going to go, the next whole number. How long will it take to get there? I don't know. I don't know. I think things are probably likely to rest a little bit. Um, Volatility index we should need to take a look at. It's low. It could go lower. It's in prior areas where it's moved up from before. So we need to objectively look at the recent past. We could go further back and look at the old past, but it's relatively low compared to where it was a little while ago. So that's a little bit of a alignment with the slowing momentum. Could prices pull back a little bit and the VIX go up? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Um, our market internals, this is still good. And finally, we got this bearish sentiment down here. It's got room to go up. Breadth has not reached an extreme yet. One of the reasons is, those FANG stocks, some of them are kind of like just sitting there doing nothing. Money's kind of not running after those and going out to small caps and transports, what underperformed. Equity put call ratio, it's not into the upper bands yet. So we still got gas in the tank as far as going up. And what would be great is if this slowing momentum maybe results in a couple of choppy days and these lines come down a little bit so that they have more room to an extreme. And that's alignment with the idea of continued rally into the holidays, and it's a seasonally bullish period. And, a lot of times before Thanksgiving, there's been some corrective process, not very extreme. And then, usually, the day before, the day after are positive days in the market where they go up. So, uh, look, my perception is that things should have the potential to go significantly higher. We don't, you believe things, then you continue to monitor your concepts to see what they actually do. And that's the factory work, the process. What will be interesting here. Let's see. Gold is now pulling back, and now as the dollar continues higher, this is pulling back finally. So momentum is stalled. We'll see what happens when it gets down here to this pivot. Uh, Crude oil, which is down near this significant support here, and you can see on the monthly chart this significant support. And now we have new president who's ready to open the spigots, right? So that the price of energy comes down. Okay, that's what we're told. Well, based on that information, I now look at this chart and I see it's at support. And I'm thinking, well, what should happen to confirm this belief? This pattern should result in a break below here. And sometime, I don't know, January, well, they anticipate things, but you see oil is down here. Crude oil should break these lows and start heading lower, which tells us that while energy stocks, some of them did really well last week, they should not do so well if crude oil starts breaking down. We don't have that information yet. So this is one of the things that we need to monitor to see if crude oil actually breaks down. Does he actually open the spigots? And promises made. Let's see if promises are kept. And that's the belief right now. Right? Interest rates have been moving up, pulling back a little bit. So we'll be watching to see what happens here as to you see this topping tail on the 10-year note, and it came up to resistance, so we looked to the left. It made a whole lot of sense that it would back off. Do interest rates going sideways here? Do they start pulling back? So look, the long explanation is all of that, and I could go into further, and I know I got to look at SPX here, but look, we have expectations, we have beliefs, we look at the charts, and we continue to look at the charts to see, do trends change? Are there deep retracements? So on and so forth. Right? That's the process. All right. So spiders come off the high a little bit, no big deal. They're up near the prior day's high. They're far from the prior day's low. Everything looks fine. We'll continue to monitor this intraday. I probably have to adjust this since that came down a little bit. You can see the top strike was up there when I made the chart. These things tend to move kind of quickly. Not kind of, they do. Yeah. Yeah, so it came down 5 ticks. All right, so keep that in mind. 5 strikes, I should say, not 5 ticks. Uh, you know, this gives us a starting point on the day. That's all. So something of 60 came down 10, depending on what you want to pick there. 10, let's call it 60, 60, 60. 60 is better than 65, right? But it's a little lower. And so now it's below Friday's low, which is good. No, it's right here. Strikes last week weren't not touched. And look, minor support, major support, unfilled gap. There's your moving averages. Whatever correction happens, the dip being bought somewhere into here, or we get some kind of correction bar. There's an unfilled gap here as well. So keep an eye on that, set an alert. And that's what we'll do. All yours, Dan.
Yeah, hey, good morning, sir. Yeah, I got a contractor here dealing with a plumbing problem. Uh, so yeah, it was harder finding good trades that were not so extended, but we found a bunch of them, more than I actually thought. And as I've been saying for the last couple of days, even though I'm not buying this far from the 20. I have a very simple recipe of what I'm looking for new trades, as long as, we still have a bullish bias. I want an igniting bar close to support in the 20. This is not. The broader indices are vertical. But look at it. It's still extended, but at least it's been going sideways here. XBI closing breakout, igniting weekly, breakout monthly. So this looks fantastic. We're already in it in the ETF ladder, but this is one that you can add. Yeah, the Bitcoin stocks are lying today. It's funny, the news, the reason is, oh, on optimism, Trump, this and that. Well, nothing has changed from Monday morning to to Wednesday's victory. So why the enthusiasm today? And looks like a little bit of FOMO there. WIGMI is the ETF for the miners, and that's a monster gap. I mean, it was higher, but percent wise, that is huge. Look at Riot, Hut, Mara. So now see this one in terms of my recipe of a new trade. This one's rested. It's a bull 1, 2, 3, 4 with a bullish weekly. But the problem is the gap. I mean, I actually missed this over the weekend, or that would have been an actual new trade. Stavros, let's see what he has. Energy stocks did well. Crack didn't. Well, crack is what, like USO, I'm assuming. I mean, that's a fundamental question. It's all based on fundamentals and how much money that they think they're going to make. So it doesn't have to be a direct correlation. Semis, though, relative weakness. Why are the semis at Friday's low with the Nasdaq up so much? I noticed Taiwan gapping down, and there was some news that's the U.S. is telling them not to ship AI chips to China. And my first reaction was, how the hell can the U.S. tell a Taiwan company what to do? So I don't understand that one. Um, Look at Tesla here is again, why, the enthusiasm here. Wednesday was a Friday was a range expansion bar. Now you're gapping up 24 more dollars. This very well could set up a day trade short and or a call spread, but it's a freight train right now, so we got to be selective. But that's a sign of a short-term novice gap. Now, could it be a range expansion bar today? Absolutely. And then hopefully it gaps up $20 tomorrow. And I'll have the identical bias, but with more conviction, because it's not going to go up like that forever. But look at this. This was a bull island reversal. We were going to buy this, but for the election, in retrospect, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We should have bought calls, but they would have been expensive, but you would have gotten paid for it. All right. I think these were a couple of earnings stocks. RMTI, short-term extended, LINC extended $18. ARMK. Now this, if it wasn't gapping up so much, 41.60, let's say it was gapping up a little. That's a beautiful buy setup. It was a bullish gap. You got 3 control bars down. You got a bottoming tail on support in the 50. That would have been a great buy setup. Yeah, must have. ENPH said they're going to, I think, lay off 500 people. So this is the solar industry is getting killed now that Trump is going to do whatever he can to kill the green scam pounding down everyone's throat. Anything gapping down today is relative weakness. So yeah, gold I see is weak. So Upstart, I think this was earnings, monster bar, but gapping down. 30-minute low, could be a day trade short. These are power bars, but it's far from the 20, and you got a big old void. So now that it's gapping under this 15-minute support on the day base, 10, 15, 30-minute low, I don't know. Short, day trade. All right, let's go through my alarms here now, because many of these are in the weekend letter. All right, BCE. All right, let me reset my alarm. My alarm went off. This is just a vanilla Climo. Over Friday's high, we were going to buy calls. BBAI. This one's a little different. So it's at the top of the range, but it's a 1, 2, 3. I got rising 20, rising 50. I like this bottoming pattern on the weekly. So that looks great. BBAI has a bottoming pattern. And stop is under Thursday. So it's a big stop, top of the range. So that alarm went off. Gold, we mentioned. Oh, wow, that's a big ugly gap. Mm. Whiskey Tango. I had an up alarm, but I don't see any volume. CRS. See my recipe. Yes, it's up, but it's this bottoming tail bounced off minor support, and it's not nearly as far from the 20 is the broader market indexes. So over these highs, it looks good. You got bullish weekly. PGR. Again, it's a it rested here and it's not far from the 20-year support. So that I like over the high. T-Tech, I just had the alarm go off. This is uh, um, it's a bear 1, 2, 3. I kept it on my list, but you got this ton of support over here. But it's a short idea. WGO alarm. I don't see any prints, but another little continuation pattern. Rick, I just had an alarm go off. This is where Sammy Boy goes for lunch every day. Rick's, I like daily, weekly, monthly are all in alignment. Air just gapped over this. This was, I forget if this was official or it's just on my watch list. Air. No, I don't have it official. Okay, so that was just an alarm going off. Dollar General is a short. Let's wait 5 minutes. Well, I don't know. I just personally don't like trading the first 5 minutes on Mondays. All right, so I said DG's a go, 5 minute low. CELH is a short idea. So see there we had two shorts that are triggering in the first 5 minutes, even with the market bullish. Triple M, 5 minute high. Let's wait 5 minute high. And it's just a swing trade, just a swing trade into the void is all. It's like a continuation of a 1, 2, 3 there. Let me go through these alarms now again and see. All right, so BCE did not trigger. Babay. We should be able to get a pullback. Babay 180. All right. Whiskey Tango. All right, so that one did gap over it. So let's see, Whiskey Tango. The entry was over 1088. So let's say it's a go right here. The diamond's the strongest here today. Octa alarm. We have a put spread in this, but it's a bottoming pattern, could be a directional too. I see, I had elf. We stopped out of our back part of elf on Friday. Wow, we didn't get the benefit of today's gap. All right, our GLW looks good. Hey man, low alarm. We have like put spread. That's why my alarm went off. No, we don't. That's an old trade. All right, we're out of it. That was last week's trade. Let me delete it. GR. GR. Let's wait over the high. 263.85. Dell. Yeah, Dell looks good. Sure. Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, AI's fine. We have a put spread on AI, Alex, but yeah, it looks fine too. I like the weekly. Yeah, I'm not crazy about these two topping tails, but it's clearing it. So it's a continuation. My AI alarm just went off actually. Tired. 18. Yeah, there's my setup. I like it. All right, I'll use your numbers for that. Yeah, sure did. And Michael Jackson, new low. That sector. as something else. PG, so now 5 minute low, 76.74. Here's actually coming to fill the gap. Meta, Apple, week. Triple M over 135.34. Yeah, WT, I gave it in the gap fill, Alex. I gave it a 1088, but yeah, I guess you were doing it differently. BCE has not triggered. WGO. I gave $60 calls, so they're not going to get billed unless it pulls in. XOM over the highs. Sell H under 28.51. So that triggered. Behind and alerts here. Target up alarm. Wow, this was a put spread. 148, 143. Yeah, we're nowhere near our desired credit. I'll just leave it for now. All right, let's see, Robert. Yeah, no kidding. Q's just sliced through the closing support from Friday. And now the hourly is not over, but the Qs have it's a climo with a bearish engulfing bar on the 65 minutes. So, danger on be very selective on new longs. Right. So it's so and that it's being formed. Alex, you don't like this so if it closes like this, right? 10:35, correct.
Dan, see if you like AVGO or a call spread. 186 maybe has enough. Well, it's 84 by 87. You'd have to go 6 wide, 7 wide.
Which one, Greg?
AVGO. They're saying these semiconductors are getting beat up.
You hungry? No. Yes. To food pizza. Nothing that much.
Russell holding up really well here, so see if it possibly takes out the high of the day.
What?
You like 186, 190 for 48? Yeah, we've been burned a couple times, doing strong stocks, but let's see. Yeah, the semis sure weak today. Bank is strong. Oil moving.
There's a lot weaker ones, but probably wouldn't have any premium. There was a positive article in Barron's on this on semiconductor. It didn't help it at all, but I'm going to send an alert near the, like 74, see if it ever gets back up there.
But do you want me to give this one? I got it loaded up.
I only say what I see, Dan. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a weak sector that's got premium. It's a trade. I don't know what it's going to do. I see so far the day is not anywhere near complete, but it's a wide range bar. They're not bouncing. Semi's 5 minute is a waterfall down. So, looking to help with an idea. I know it's one of the stronger ones, but without the sector turning around, and I think, I would hope something like that, the juice would get eaten up in a couple of days because I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the week.
Up alarm again, looks good. So Greg, I only have a put spread on AI. So if you want it directional, then tell me.
All right, so the middle of today's range is 2860-ish, which is the top of the bar on Thursday. Let's set an alert there and see if it pulls back. And other than that, we got to put a stop under yesterday's low, which is just, again, share sizing.
Well, I mean, that's where I use the 15-minute chart. I actually think right where my horizontal line is plenty, 27.18, which is $2.
For the stop,
Yeah,
that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, the depth of the pullback would be deep, but look, share sizing doesn't mean we're going to allow it to go there. We're just giving it the maximum room. If it was to retrace that deep, we set an alert and just say, you know what, if it's there, we decide to kill it. We don't have to stick to the stop.
no, I know, but because like the same discussion on the subject that it's going to affect position size. So then if it, rallies $3, you aren't going to make as much. That's it.
Well, we can wait to see if it. I don't know if that's that high. I don't know if that's that high. I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
But we can see if it pulls back. Most of the time they will.
Hey, I'm short to 27 puts, so from last week. Covered some at 14 cents. Look at this, Michael Jackson.
And Florida messed that up, Dan.
Mhm.
From what I read, they needed a 60% vote, and they fell short by 5.
I voted for it, even though I don't smoke.
I voted for it too. I mean, not that I care for it at all, but I just thought, the rest of the country's doing it. Tax revenues. Um, you know,
Yeah, I mean, they only, like my friends were telling me about it, that it's not a clean bill because it was giving a monopoly to like one company and limiting, lawsuits and so forth. So there's a lot of crap buried in it.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Alex, I posted this to the wrong letter in the wrong channel. I posted it to you. All right, Disney, I gave shorting 91 puts. Because it's the earnings trade.
Well, Brett, isn't it true that you have to get a medical whatever You go and you pay one of these medical places. No? How do you buy it legally if it's not medical?
Well, state laws are different. That's fine.
Well, I'm assuming Brett was in Florida by his post.
No.
When I read it, I thought, what they were allowing was basically you could walk into a dispensary like, I guess, any other state and buy it. Right. You got to pay them whatever their fee is, and you got to see a doctor and all of that, I guess, right? And for a fee, they can say, yeah, you're stressed out, you need it, yada yada yada. Yeah, I'm sure it's a scam. Not really a scam. It's just whatever. If you really want it, you'll go through it and you'll do that. And
Yeah, geez, 5 minute chart just straight down today.
what I wasn't certain of is if they had passed it, would people be allowed to smoke it on the beach or a park or just walking down the street? Because I hate the smell of the shit. And that's kind of like yeah, that's like an invasion of my space.
Well, so cigar.
That's true. That's true. Some people think cigar test smells disgusting.
Like me.
I like them once in a while. Like when the weather's cool down here and you can be outside, I'd like to have once in a while. I'm not a big cigar smoker, but yeah, my grandfather used to smoke a pipe. This smelled amazing.
So M triggering.
Financials are still strong.
Mm-hmm. We have KRE in the letter.
Looks good.
Mm-hmm.